afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us again for April 6th, NDDPI April 6th core messaging. I appreciate it. Again, we will begin with the end in mind, and that end is, it's April 7th.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, thank you. So April 7th, core messaging. Wow. Beginning with the end in mind, we will have returning educational services back to normal. I believe that maybe we're getting closer to that, or at least we're finding our own path and rhythm within this new era of normal. Our phones have not been nearly as busy with questions today, so we're hoping that everything is going well, or everyone is giving each other the space and the time for the kinks to get worked out. So I appreciate that. But as you're working through this, please know that our job here remains to make sure that we're doing whatever we can to guide school districts with data and informed decisions so all students can continue to learn while keeping all North Dakota citizens safe and well. It has been our first order mission for quite some time to make sure that we are working for you, for your students, for families, and ensure that we're removing any barriers, challenges, or obstacles that are making it more difficult for you to serve our students and their families. So thank you so much for doing that. I want to update you today on our resource center. Due to the number of resources that have been made available to so many of us with the Distance Learning Initiative, we are developing a process to review web-based resources sent to the department for dissemination. Resources that don't meet the extra quality criteria for placement on the North Dakota OER Commons will go through this new review process that the department is developing, and resources that fit the OER Commons review criteria will be reviewed using that criteria for potential placement on the North Dakota Commons site. More details will come forward as this process is developed. Child nutrition. Wanted to chat with you about some of the calls that we have heard coming into our child nutrition department. Child nutrition office has heard of statewide concerns with access to individually packaged food items and supplies that are serving the grab-and-go meals. And so those seem to be in short supply in some areas of our state. So if you are experiencing that challenge, please contact the Child Nutrition Office for assistance with this so we can file a waiver or for missing meal components. A new grant application was launched that we wanted to let you know about in support of feeding students during this COVID-19 event. Principals and school nutrition directors and superintendents can apply for this. They just go to our website, COVID-19 genyouthnow.org, and information is available on the Child Nutrition COVID page under resources. As of 2:15 p.m. today, 49 school districts have applied for the Gen Youth grants. The 49 North Dakota school districts have applied for this grant. So the information has only been out for one day, so I appreciate the responsiveness all of you have to make sure that we are leveraging all of the opportunities to meet our students' nutritional needs in this area. The Office of Special Education and I will have a Q&A with our parent support and advocacy organizations on Thursday morning. And North Dakota Assistive, we wanted to let you know North Dakota Assistive stands ready to support schools and families with some technology devices. So if any of you are in need of technology devices for your students, we wanted to share that information with you. Mike Chauncey, who leads that North Dakota Assistive organization, has some devices that he might be able to share with all of you. So please reach out to Jerry Tevens or Mike Chauncey himself. Lots of questions about the supplemental funding that North Dakota will be receiving through the CARES Act. An NDDPI team has been created to efficiently review and quickly disseminate the additional COVID relief funding. So we are still in the status right now where we will be receiving an application very soon, I hope, from the U.S. Department of Education for North Dakota to apply for the funds. As I mentioned last week, the Emergency Commission met last week and approved North Dakota's Department of Public Instruction's request of our state legislature to apply for these funds, and the budget section met today at 11. And Jamie Mertz from our office represented DPI to make sure that to represent us through that final hurdle. So now we will be able to apply as soon as we get the application form from the U.S. Department of Ed, and we expect to receive that application very, very quickly. As soon as that application is completed by North Dakota, we will turn around and send the applications out to our eligible schools and promise that same quick turnaround that we provided on the applications for the distance learning plan. A use of funds document has been posted on our supplemental funding link, so if any of you want to get a head start on this, to have some idea about what it is that you might use these relief funds for your school district, please access that on our COVID-19 update page. I continue to get updates regarding the use of Zoom. I know many of our school districts included the use of Zoom in their distance learning plans, and we have received some updated information to what we passed along. Yesterday, we mentioned that the Zoom teleconferencing software and that some schools were using, and we said that we had received information that it was safe to use as long as certain precautions were taken, such as making sure that you have a password for your Zoom session. I have new information today. I've received new information. Our information technology folks at Zoom still may have significant security risks, and they prefer that our schools use Microsoft Teams, because it certainly has better security. And as we mentioned yesterday, the 2019 legislative session provided Microsoft Teams to all students and all schools. So again, from our NDIT office, they are requesting that school districts use the Microsoft Teams environment when possible. Federal title waiver. I'm very happy to report that our schools are getting more flexibility to use federal aid that benefit your students from low-income families. We worked with the Department of Education to grant more local control and flexibility in using this money. The Department of Education agreed that this would be the better use of this, and the money for your federal title aid will have much more flexibility and allowable uses, and you will have the opportunity to carry over those dollars for your federal $1, $2, and $4. So about $45 million is involved in these waiver applications, or the $45 million additional flexibility through these waivers. I encourage you to talk with each other, reach out to our office, determine how this flexibility can serve you best and your families best in your schools, and make sure that we're making pragmatic decisions about how we help our students from our neediest families. The transportation dollars, we continue to work with the governor's office and the other branches, other offices, OMB, and our legislative council in trying to find a path forward and a solution to ensuring that the transportation dollars dedicated for our school districts in this biennium can still be utilized and delivered out to our schools next year on the basis, considering that there was an interruption of service of riders and rides. So there are certain challenges that we are working our way through, but we hope to find an answer and provide an answer to you as quickly as possible, understanding that budgets are being built for next year, and an answer about whether and how these funds may be delivered. Coming to you sooner rather than later will be the best scenario for all of us. I can encourage you all to tune in to the governor's press conference this afternoon at 3:30. He will be addressing the teacher evaluation deadline, and so please tune in to that press conference at 3:30 so we can update you all at once. And of course, I will update you tomorrow on the results of that announcement for the teacher evaluation for the executive order. I want to remind everyone again, take this opportunity, that we have extended our deadline for the North Dakota Teacher of the Year application. We hope that we can get applications or nominations. You can either self-nominate, you can nominate one of those heroes that we call teachers that you know of, or you can apply yourself. But that application deadline has been extended to May 8th. So please, at this time where teachers really are rising up as heroes among us, please take the time to either apply yourself or nominate a teacher that you know in your life that is worthy. The North Dakota Teacher of the Year program celebrates the work of a classroom teacher in kindergarten through 12th grade. And as we talk about teachers, those are all sorts of teachers. They can be specialists, they can be counselors, they can be library media specialists. So please encourage everyone to consider all of those wonderful people that are serving our students. I have had several questions regarding the handling of student homework that may be in paper format, and so I reached out to the Department of Health again to verify, and if asked if schools should be concerned about the transmission of COVID-19 from paper, mail, or homework packets, and the CDC communicates and the North Dakota Department of Health has affirmed that as long as they do the proper hand washing after handling the paper, they should be fine. They will be fine. So a couple questions resulted during Governor Burgum's state employee address this afternoon. He had a town hall meeting for state employees, and during this Q&A session for state employees, Burgum was asked about the prospects of reopening schools for the current year. He didn't commit, but he did say it would, in his mind, would be fantastic if schools would reopen for a week in May so classmates could see each other, graduations could be held, etc. But he didn't say that he was leaning that way. So I will refer to you again, the comment when asked that question at a press conference nearly a week ago now, about his thoughts on when schools may be reopened. And again, he pointed to the president's order of continuing social distancing till at least April 30th, and he said the reopening of schools wouldn't be something that he would entertain until we can see a decline in confirmed cases in North Dakota for a significant period of time. And at this point, we have not seen a decline in confirmed cases, and so at this point, I don't anticipate that it's something that is on his order to have school buildings remain closed until further notice stands. With that, I encourage you all, some of you may not have heard the updates from yesterday about the AP exams. That information is posted. And with that, I will conclude my afternoon briefing. But I do want to say once again to all of you how important the work is. And I know that the real work is being done as we are getting our kids back learning. And the adrenaline that has driven many of us across the state the last couple of weeks probably is subsiding a bit. And so with that, I really want to end with a Mr. Rogers quote again today that says, in times of stress, Mr. Rogers says, in times of stress, the best thing we can do for each other is to listen with our ears and with our hearts, and to be assured that our questions at these times are just as important as our answers. So please continue to reach out to the Department of Public Instruction and to each other with your questions. Thanks and have a good day.